Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be creating a Valentine's Day look. So if you want to see the look I create, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I just finished prepping my eyelids. So I just put concealer and some eyeshadow on top. So the first palette I'm going to go into is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. And I'm going to go ahead and use Pooter. So I actually just finished watching this movie. I honestly liked it. It was called Where the Crawbirds Sing or something like that. So it starts out with this girl. She has like two older sisters and an older brother and her. Don't remember the names, so don't tell me. But basically, they live in this house, right? And she lives with her mom and dad and her siblings. But the home situation isn't the best. So the husband is super abusive towards the wife and children actually. And so what ends up happening is the mom leaves her children. The mom leaves because I guess she just cannot handle the dad abusing her. I get it, definitely. Like, no one likes being abused. And then because the mom leaves, the dad gets very, very more violent, I would say, towards the oldest. So then the oldest child leaves, and then so it's now the second oldest that gets beat and like abused, and then that one leaves, and then it's just her and her brother, and her brother eventually leaves as well. And so we'll call this girl Allison because I really don't know their names, I forget. So that Allison is by herself. So sad. She is the youngest. I would say she's maybe like 7, 8 years old at the time, and her brother leaves her. And so, but she learns kind of how to get along with the dad, like kind of like avoid him when he's in his moods, kind of thing. So she just learns to survive, right? So it's just her and her father at the time, and she's very into like wildlife, so like insects and like turtles and fishes and stuff like that. She likes that. At one point, like she tries to go to school. That one day she tries to go to school, like she's not in the same level as everybody else, so like they make fun of her. And that first day of school, like she's like, yep, this isn't for me. I am not gonna go back to school. No one's gonna make me, and no one does make her. Where she lives, there's like that lake, I would say. I think it's a lake, and she likes to ride her dad's boat. And one time she gets lost because she's never gone by herself. She meets this boy named Tate, and he's like, oh, are you lost? She's like, no. And in the end, like, he can see that she is lost, so he kind of shows her way back to her house. And but the dad sees that, and he's like, no, don't be like going around any guy or anything like that. So she does try to avoid him. One day she gets a letter from her mom. She doesn't know how to read because she doesn't go to school. So either way, she's like, oh, it's a letter from mom. The dad like gets angry. He grabs the letter from her, and he reads it, and he gets like super upset. Like, we never know what exactly it said. Like, he doesn't say anything to her, but whatever it said, it upset him. And he just burns the letter right then and there. And Allison gets like, no, don't do it, like, she gets so sad, blah blah blah. That night the dad leaves, so now it's just her on her own in that house. I'm like, that is so freaking sad. Like, literally everybody in her household abandoned her, and she's like 8, 9 years old, guys. Like, what? So she's living on her own. One point, she goes out like in this like area where it's just a bunch of grass and stuff, just a bunch of land. And at one point, she's just like she keeps on like finding these feathers on a trunk of a tree, and it's Tate basically leaving like those feathers for her. And so she will start drawing them. Eventually, like Tate and Allison get close. Like he finally like, you know, they become friends, and then things start to get a little romantic. Like he like takes her to like different areas of like their town. It's so cute because like he teaches her how to read and stuff like that, because like, you know, she was traumatized from that day that she went to, that first day of school that she went to, and all the kids made fun of her. And then one day she tells him like, oh, do you like about girlfriends and stuff? He says like, you know, yeah, I've had girlfriends, you know, but I don't have one now. And she tells him like, are we like a thing? And he's all like, well, if you want us to be, then I guess. And then she's like, yeah. And they kiss, and it's so cute. And they just have like that relationship. And but one day he's like, you know, helping his dad. His dad is a shrimp person. I guess he just captures shrimp for a living. And he tells him like, oh, you know, I keep hearing rumors from people around town saying like, you know, you and Allison have been like really close. I just want to like know if that's true. I just want you to know like I don't want you to basically ruin his future with this girl, because this girl is known for obviously like being isolated from society, and he doesn't want his son to like stop his future for this girl. Like he wants better for him, you know. And Tate just like, you know, we're friends. That's it. I teach her how to read and stuff, so it's not a big deal, Dad. Like I know, like I'm gonna go to school and whatever. So at this point, you kind of like can tell that this relationship may not last and stuff, because of the fact that he is like eventually gonna go off to school, like to college and stuff. So things happen, and their relationship kind of progresses. There's this one part where like they're about to like go to 4/5 base, you know, go all the way. But he stops himself. He says like, I am not good for you, like you deserve better, like I can't do that. So he like, you know, stops, and but she tells him like, no, like I want, you know, I want this. Like so he, because then he reminds her like, you know that like I'm gonna go away soon for school. And he kind of tells her like, oh, like I seen your drawings, because she loves to draw like all the nature stuff. And he tells her like, you know, I really like your drawings, are amazing, like why don't you send it to a publisher and see if you get your, you know, your stuff published and make some money out of it. Like, you know, it's gonna be a lot of money, but like have some money, you know. And she's just like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I'm just gonna send you, you know, publishers information, and you know, you go ahead and decide if you want to do it or not. Time passes and stuff, and then he says goodbye to her. Emotional moment. And he's like, oh, you know, like I'll come back for you, I promise. So he tells her like on the 4th of July he's gonna go come back from school, you know, and see her. And she gets all dressed up. She put like some makeup on and some lipsticks. I think she also puts on like one of her mom's dress or something. And she looks super, super cute and gorgeous. And like she waits out there in the meadow or whatever that is. And time flies. Like it's like when she's there, like the sun is out, and then slowly the sun is going down, and it's like sun set, and then it's just like gone. And she just wakes up the next morning and he never showed up, which I'm like, that's so sad. I'm like, he's basically the only friend she had, like, you know. He really just forgets about her. So I honestly thought like he like found another girl. I thought maybe he died. I don't know. I was just like, what the heck? I was like, that is so sad. So she gets so sad. She goes back home and she like rips all her stuff, like all the like what is it? Like all the pages from like the drawings she's been making throughout the years. And eventually she just like moves on, you know. And and so she moves on, you know, and she decides actually to send her images to like a publisher, and she does get published, which is so great. They send her the copies and everything. And at this time she meets this other guy named Brandon. Let's name him Brandon. Brandon, he, because she's out on the town or whatever, yeah, town, and he kind of sees her and, you know, says hi to her, whatever. I don't like Brandon. And they got close, and then so basically Brandon and her become like boyfriend girlfriend. He kind of confides in her and tells her like, you know, like, you're the first girl person actually that really knows who I am, and like what I actually like and stuff like that. And they get really close. He seems very sweet. And curse. Sorry, I'm being a hater towards Brandon, but you'll hate him too. So yeah, and then one day he kind of like tells her like, oh, why don't you come with me? I have a job like over like the next town or something. She's like, it's gonna be like a 2-day job, so I have to spend the night there. Just come with me, like I would love your company. She says yes, which I'm like freaking surprised, because like she literally doesn't leave her house except to just quickly go to like the corner market kind of thing. So I'm surprised she said yes. But anyway, she goes. They stay at a motel, and they go all the way. They go all the way. He gets into her pants. So they come back to the trip, and they, you know, they still hang out and stuff. And then one day she like I think, oh, okay, so I did mention that she get published and everything like that. I kind of went too fast, but anyway, they sent her, I think they sent her like actual the physical books of her like drawings and everything. And so she gets excited and she goes to town to like, I guess, meet, not meet, but go look for her man, Brandon. And when she runs into him, I think, or she was running an errands, one of those things. She runs into him and he's with like his friend and 2 other girls. So they're like, oh, hey, Allison, what's up? And then he looks at her like, hey, how are you doing? And she's all like, good. And you know, they all like go up to her and stuff. And this one blonde girl comes up and she's like, oh, hi, I'm Brandon's fiance. Like, I would not put it past Brandon to live a double life. Like, ugh, he looked like someone that would do that. I can't believe he did her dirty like that. But anyways, yeah, so that happens. And obviously, she feels like someone punched her in the gut. Okay, because she did not think Brandon would do her like that, you know? Anyway, so she goes back to her house. She like it runs inside and she like throws her groceries on the table, and she's just like breathing in so hard, like she cannot breathe, like she is heartbroken. Like imagine, oh my gosh. Like, and then she hears like a boat, right? Because the only way you can like get to her house is like on a boat. And this guy, Brandon, has the audacity to come to her house. Like, are you serious? Anyways, he comes into her house. He's like yelling for her name because she like runs out. Like when she hears that, she runs out of the house and she goes to hide like in the bushes and stuff. And he goes inside. He's like, Allison, I know you're here. Like, she's like, ugh, and he kind of gets mad and he leaves. One day she's at this market that she always goes to with the guys, with the people that were always nice to her from like when she was a little girl. And she brings them a book, her book, and she starts hearing like voices, and one of the voices is Brandon. So she freaking like goes around like an aisle, and she's like trying to hide, and then she's like tries to get out of the store, but she gets caught. And Brandon's like, "Oh, hey, Allison, like you're not gonna say hi," kind of thing. And she's just like, whatever. And so he grabs for her. She kind of like let go, like she's like trying to let herself free. And he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, don't be like that. Like, don't be like that. I'm like, mm. The owner interferes. He's like, hey, calm down, calm down. Like, do not like be respectful. So she leaves. She goes back home, and she's like exploring the wilderness. Don't know where she is. It's like some part of where she lives, I would say. And Brandon again comes unannounced. He's like, "Come on, like Allison, don't be like this. Like, what do you expect? What's gonna happen? Like, this is someone like I am supposed to get married to. Like, like someone like her." And then she's like, what is that? And then she kind of gets offended. Like, what the heck do you mean? Like, what is wrong? She's like, all right, then, like, be with her, whatever. She gets mad, and then, like, she basically tells him, like, okay, then, like, leave me alone. Like, do not even talk to me, kind of thing. And he freaking slaps her. He slaps her. And Allison, like, strikes right back in his face and, like, draws some blood. I'm like, I did not expect that from Allison. I did not expect it from her. But I'm like, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, violence with violence never sorts things out. But sometimes you gotta defend yourself, okay? That's the only thing. Like, what the hell? Like, and so he goes and grabs her, obviously because she hit him hard, and he's pissed. So he goes ahead and grabs for her, and he like tumbles her to the ground, and they're like fighting and fighting, and like she's her whole body is on like the floor, like her face is to the floor, and he assaults her. He assaults her, and he leaves. At this point, she's very paranoid because she knows that, like, I mean, she's had an abusive father, so she knows how it is. So she knows that situation is not going to be the last time that Brandon's going to try to be physical with her. So every time she hears like a boat or something, she's like paranoid. Like she like knows it's not the way she wants to live. Like she already dealt with it basically. And so when she hears the boat, she literally grabs a rock, and she's ready to like freaking like hit Brandon if it's Brandon. But no, it's Tate. Tate decides to come back. I was like, okay. But he tells her, hey, like it's me. Like, it's like, I just want to talk to you. And she's like, no, you shouldn't be here. She's like, please, like, let me talk to you. Like, I just want to see how you're doing, blah, blah. Say sorry. Freaking ditching her. Like, and he sees, like, she has, like, a big swelling on her face, obviously from like the big like hit from Brandon. And he's like, did Brandon do that to you? And she's like, it's not safe for you here, like you need to go. And she's like, oh my gosh, like she's like, just go. And he's like, okay, like fine, I'll go. So he does go. He does like come back to her and tells her like, I'm sorry, like because she's like you left me, blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. He's like, I thought you would never leave, this area. Like I felt like you would just always stay here, and I didn't want to change you, and I didn't want, that. Like I just didn't. But like I'm back, and I'm working at this like a lab or something nearby, and he tells her like, yeah, like I'm doing that. If she would love to, like, stop by or whatever, and like just be friends again or something. So yeah, and she tells him like, oh, my book got published. I was gonna actually go meet my authors, but how am I gonna go like looking like this? But he tells her like you should like to go, and like I'm guessing like obviously someone helps her cover it up because she's like at the bus station, and she has like she doesn't have any bruising because I'm pretty sure she concealed it, and she like nicely dressed and everything, and she comes back and stuff. But so then like it fast forwards to the future, and she's in trial because Brandon is dead, and they're thinking it was a homicide, someone killed him, which, I mean, he seems like a dick, so I don't know who would do it, but like she's getting convicted for his murder. At this time, like they're saying like at this date that it happened, basically she was at the whole like meeting her publisher. Since like, do you guys honestly think that like she had time to be over there, come back, kill this guy, and then what? And then the mom is on the stand. The mom says like, well, he told me that he broke up with her and she didn't take it lightly, which I was like, but anyways, and she says that there was a necklace that he wore the whole time. It was of a shell, and there's a scene in the movie where like he gives her that shell because he sees it, and then it's a rare shell for it to appear in that side of where they live. Um, and she made it into a necklace and gave it to him. And so the mom says like he always wears that necklace, and like when we found the body, it was gone. Basically, she wins though. She wins. They say like, no, she's not guilty, and she goes home, and then like she's with Tate, and they kind of like come together, and he asks her to marry her, and she kind of tells him like, well, aren't we already married? Like, and he's like, well, okay, like if that's fine with you, then I guess you know that's what we're gonna be, so I guess like they never get married or whatever, but it shows just like their lives going on, them getting older together, her getting her books published, and it even shows when she dies. So what happens is she's in her boat, and so she's out by herself, and as she goes to shore, she sees a distance of this figure coming closer and closer, and it's her mom. She says mom, and that's how she passes, which I'm like so sad because she never, like, such a sad moment because she never really got to reunite with her mom. Something I didn't mention was that in the letter she basically did say like she wanted to come back for kids. The letter that her dad burned, and but obviously like she didn't get a response or whatever. But she died, I think. So basically that's how it happens, and her husband Tate finds her in the boat, and she's just laying there, and I guess he like they have a funeral for her. He's looking through her stuff because obviously like I guess he's packing things away, and there's a book. I don't know if it was like an actual book that was illustrated or a book she was actually working on, and she was had a couple pictures, and then one picture was of Brandon with the um necklace of that shell thingy, and then he flips the page, and there's a cutout in the book, and in the cutout is the necklace. I was like, what? I did not see that coming because, like, in the trial, like, the fact that she was at that conference basically, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, that makes no sense. Like, how? And, like, I don't, like, yes, I was surprised that she, like, literally hit the guy back, but, like, I didn't think she would have murdered him, and she did, and it was because of the fact that she said something like, she knew that for an animal to survive, she had to get rid of the predator to be able to live their life in peace. But anyways, guys, this is it for the look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in my next video.